لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد والله أكبر. على ما هدانا وله الشكر على ما أولانا. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لدينه الذي ارتضى وسبيله الذي اصطفى وتصرفنا لما يوجب الزلفة لدي والوصول إلي، فأمرنا بصيام شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن وجعل فيه ليلة القدر التي خير من 1000 شهر، وهو شهر الله وسيد الشهور وشهر التوبة وشهر المغفرة. الحمد لله الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماءه العادون ولا يؤدي حقه المجتهدون. والحمد لله على رسول المسدد المحمود الأحمد بالقاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. We are gathered here to celebrate Eidul fitr. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the opportunity to have completed the month of Ramadan in safety and in good health. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Let us not forget those of our friends and relatives and people all across the world who are with us in previous years, be they here or elsewhere, and they have moved on to meet their Lord. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them all maghfirah, elevate their status in the akhirah, and may He hasten the appearance of our Imam, inshallah, as soon as possible. May I request a Surah Fatiha for all our marhumin. Al-Fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. It seems only yesterday that we were saying Maha Ramadan is coming. Then we say 2 down, 27 to go. And now all of a sudden the month of mercy is gone. It was like a cool wind that blew in and we all smelt a beautiful fragrance. And before we had a chance to relish it and enjoy it thoroughly, it was gone. You could see it slipping out of your hands, but there was nothing you could do to stop it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the opportunity to be there next year, inshallah. And if He chooses to take us away before the next Ramadan, may He accept whatever little that we did this month, inshallah. Imam Ali alayhi salam says that every day you do not commit a sin is a day of Eid for you. It is the day of Eid for you, the day you do not commit a sin. So today, let us have a conversation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, I am talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you are all talking with me, all right? And I'm sure you can add much more to what I have to say, but this will get the point. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. O you, Surah Baqarah, Surah number 2, ayat 183, O you have attained to faith, fasting is ordained for you just as it was ordained for those before you. So fasting is not something new. It was there before you. So that you might remain conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now begins my conversation with Allah. Oh Allah, you allow me to eat and drink all year round. Then on the 9th month of the year, you tell me to stop. No eating, no drinking, no relationships, no this, no that, etc., etc., etc. between Fajr up to Maghrib. And depending on the season, this period can be a 10-hour duration or an 18-hour duration. Whilst I don't have an issue following your rules and regulations and being a good Muslim, I simply don't get fasting. I fast, but I'm not a willing participant. If I don't fast without a valid reason, I will have to pay kafara, which is to feed 60 poor people 3/4 kilo of their staple food per day of fast. This equals to 45 kilos of grain per day of not fasting for a valid reason. And if I don't fast for the whole month, then I have to feed 45 kilos times 30 persons is 1,350 kilos. And let's say a kilo costs $3, then the total cost is $4,050. And then I have to pay the qada also for these 30 days before the next Ramadan. I simply don't have this kind of money. Furthermore, don't you know that when I fast, my blood pressure goes up? I get a splitting headache as I miss my daily morning latte. My heart palpitations are also off the charts. My demeanor and my dealing with others is not very pleasant. And everyone dreads coming near me, and I dread meeting other people as I fear that I will bite their heads off. When I come home from work and my wife hears the key turn in the door, she mutters under her breath, "Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un." The angel of death has come home. Until he breaks his fast, I have to bite my lip and not say anything. If I am not going to Masimeen for iftar and the program, then I do the tawaf of the kitchen and drive my wife crazy and question if what she is cooking will be enough, and why did she not make this pakoda and that pakoda and this and that and so on and so forth. But thank you Allah for making my wife an angel. She doesn't say much. And thank you Allah for Masumeen and its volunteers who take care of us when we go to the masjid. Once the azan of Maghrib comes and I pray and I break my fast, I am a different person. The shaitan that I described has ceased to exist until tomorrow. This does not stop here. There is much more that I am guilty of which I cannot express, but you are aware of. Then the Prophet told me that if I fast in this month, then I am your honored guest, and you will grant me paradise and save me from the fire and lock shaitan up so he cannot bother me. With all that is happening to me, I still don't get it. Why do you have to make me fast? Can you not give me a break? Let others fast. Give me a break. Do you want a cranky, miserable person like me as your guest? Perhaps the reply from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would be something like this. From the day you were born until the day you return back to me, this period is called your life. I created you with a body and a soul. Your identity lies in the soul, and this soul has the potential to become greater than the angels too. I did not create you without a purpose. I want you to realize your potential so that I can grant you favors that you cannot even imagine. I want you to exercise taqwa. What is taqwa? Being aware of me at all times. The purpose of all your actions, the salat, the saum, the hajj, the zakat, the khums, everything that you do is to get closer to me. قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Surah number 6, ayat 162. Truly my prayer and my service of sacrifice, my life, my death are all for Allah, the cherisher of the worlds. O my abd, O my being, my slave, a member of the best of my creation, ashraful makhluqat, right? Of course, I am aware of all that you have expressed, and I am also aware of everything you have not expressed. وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ وَنَعْلَمُ مَا تُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسَهُ وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. Surah Qaf, Surah 50, ayat number 66. Now verily it is we who have created man, and we know what is his innermost self whispers within him, for we are closer to him than his jugular vein. If I invited you to my banquet, this is still Allah talking, If I invited you to my banquet and to be my special guest so that I may shower my blessings on you, you would not have willingly come, because you are unaware of what is waiting for you. You would have found a number of excuses not to show up. So I decided that the only way to bring you to me is to force you like a reluctant child to be my guest by making fasting mandatory upon you. In this month, I have turned the normal system of life upside down and caused massive confusion in your life, just like a revolution does. The hope is that once the dust settles, you will realize there is more to life than the path that you are on, and hopefully you will readjust your compass and turn it towards me out of your own free will, before you are forced to leave this world at the time of your death and come to meet me. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi rajiun. From Allah we come and to Him we shall return. So we can see from this brief conversation that the purpose of fasting is to free our soul from the shackles of the world. Hunger is not a bad thing. Imam Ali alayhi salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, says, surely shaitan flows in the body of Adam the way blood flows. Therefore block his channels through hunger. How excellent a helper is hunger in taking the soul as captive and breaking its habit. In other words, when you find yourself deviating from the path, or you are not, you spiritually feeling uplifted, best solution is start fasting. That is the way to break the hold of shaitan on you. Fasting is that is why there are recommendations to fast every Thursday, every Monday, every Thursday, the 13th, 14th, 15th, and so on and so forth, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran in Surah Baqarah ayat number 185 says, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. Ramadan is the month which was sent down, in which was sent down the Quran as a guide to mankind, also clear signs for guidance and judgment. So every one of you who is present at his home during that month should spend it in fasting. But if anyone is ill or on a journey, the prescribed period should be made up by days later. Allah intends every facility for you. He does not, now pay attention, He does not want to put you into difficulties. He wants you to complete the prescribed period and to glorify Him in that He has guided you. Perchance you shall be grateful. The idea is to remember that these are blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As much as it looks like a zahma to us, right? Why do I have to do it? This is indeed a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whilst we give thanks for Allah's guidance, we reflect back and have this feeling that we did not do enough. That we had the capacity to do more, but we focused more on the hunger than the freeing of our soul. That is why in the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan, we say this small dua, right? When we recite here every day. In kunta radita anni fi hadha shahr, fazdad anni radan, wa in lam takun radita anni, famin al-ana farda anni, ya arhamar rahimin. If you have been pleased with me in this month, then please increase your satisfaction with me. And if you have not been pleased with me, then please be satisfied with me from this moment onwards, O the most merciful of those who show mercy. So this is where we have. And then we carry on and we say, Ya Mulayyin al-Hadidi li Dawood alayhi salam. We say, O he who made the iron pliant for David, peace be upon him. O who took the harm and calamity that afflicted Yaqub alayhi salam. O who relieved the sorrow of Yaqub alayhi salam. O who relieved the grief of Yusuf alayhi salam. Send blessings on Muhammad and his Ali Muhammad. And then we say, وَفْعَلْ بِي مَا أَنْتَ أَهْلُ وَلَا تَفْعَلْ بِي مَا أَنَا أَهْلُ. And please do to me that befits you, and do not do to me what I deserve. This idea of Rabbi amilna bi fadlik wala tu'amilna bi adlik. Oh Allah, treat me with your mercy, not with your justice. If you treat me with justice, I have no chance. Huh? If 1 + 1 = 2, then I'm gone. I don't have a chance. It is only Allah's rahmah and mercy that comes. That is why we are told constantly, do one good. When you think about it, you get the thawab of it. When you do it, you get 10 times the reward. right? And if you think of evil, nothing is taken into account. When you actually do the evil, the angel is told, wait, maybe my abd will remember that he has done wrong and ask for forgiveness. And when he asks for forgiveness, remove it. Allah is trying to constantly put my credit balance up and my debit down, right? Constantly trying to increase my credit balance. How is it possible that you and I can end up in Jahannam? It is not possible, right? Unless we choose to go there. Unless we choose to go there, right? We say farewell to the month of blessings, forgiveness, and hope. Bidding farewell to a loved one is sad, but there is one bright side to it, and that is we only say goodbye so that we can meet again, inshallah. The whole idea of fasting was to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to understand Him, to thank Him, and to be His abd. Did we achieve that? That is for you and me to find out ourselves. This is an ongoing work of progress. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our Ramadan and our fast and our du'as and forgive our shortcomings and grant us another opportunity to come back next year and to give us the tawfiq to become not just His guests, but His special guests. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wal asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat wa tawasaw bil haqq wa tawasaw bis sabr. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الحمد لله الذي لا إله إلا هو الواحد الأحد الصمد الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله المجتبى وأن عليا أمير المؤمنين وسيد الوصيين وأن ذريته المعصومين. أئمتنا أوصيكم عباد الله بتقوى الله واغتنام طاعته وأداء العمل الصالح في هذه الأيام الفانية الخالية قبل أن يهجب عليكم الموت الذي لا مهرب منه ولا مفر. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Inshallah, our spiritual batteries in this month are charged, and that we ensure that we stay connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our main focus has to be that we are aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at all times. Our compass must be focused on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we want to ensure that we do not deviate from this path. In every situation that we find ourselves, we must turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the most mundane of daily life, look to Allah for help, and we begin to realize our purpose in this world, and we will find spiritual upliftment. Anything that you do, whatever, however small, you are working on a task, whatever it might be, right? And you are stuck. Turn to the heavens and say, Ya Allah, I need your help here. Without you, I cannot do it. Without it, I can. And you will see, if you are sincere about it, it will come. The help will come. You will be inspired with ideas. You are cooking, for example. Doesn't matter, right? You are stuck. Now what do I do, right? You ask Allah's help. You are driving. You're doing whatever work that you are doing. Connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you will find. And if you take a step back, and in everything that you do, if you are conscious and you are careful about what is going on, you will see the invisible hand of Allah helping you along the way. Navigating constantly out there, and you will find that. But the question that we need to ask ourselves is, do we trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do we trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Look at the story of Musa alayhi salam. The story of Musa alayhi salam has left, right, Egypt. Now he's headed away with all the Bani Israel, and he's now come to the river. There is water in front of him. There is no pathway through. And the army of Pharaoh is right at the back. You are now trapped. Right in the middle, you are trapped. There is an army that is fully armed, and there is water in front. You either drown or you die. There is no other choice, right? There it is. So what do the people turn to him and says, فَلَمَّا تَرَى الْجَمْعَانِ قَالَ أَصْحَابُ مُوسَى إِنَّا لَمُدْرَكُونَ 26, ayat, Surah 26, ayat number 61. As soon as the two hosts came in sight of one another, the followers of Musa exclaimed, behold, we shall be certainly be overtaken and defeated. The people have lost faith. They are seeing the army, they are seeing the water. They have lost faith. So they are asking Musa, now what is going to happen? Now look at the yaqeen of Musa. قَالَ, the next ayat, قَالَ كَلَّا إِنَّ مَعِيَ رَبِّي سَيَهْدِينَ. Memorize this ayat, 26, ayat 62. 26, 62. قَالَ, he said, كَلَّا إِنَّ مَعِيَ رَبِّي سَيَهْدِينَ. He replied, nay, indeed, my sustainer is with me and he will guide me. In that situation, Musa has absolute yaqeen. That is when the river parts. The river parts and Musa alayhi salam and his people pass by. And as soon as they have crossed and the army of Fir'aun is following, you all know the story, they are all drowned, right? Now compare this with the story of Qarun. Surah Qasas, Surah 28, ayat number 78, right? Qarun relied on himself. Qarun, by the way, was the cousin of Musa alayhi salam. He was the cousin of Musa. He believed in him initially, but when Allah tested him with abundance of wealth, he proved to be a disbeliever. What did he say? He said, قَالَ إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ عِنْدِي. Answered he, this wealth has been given to me only by virtue of the knowledge that is in me. Qarun, who gave you that knowledge? Who gave you that knowledge? If you were dumb, right? If Allah did not bless you with that knowledge, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have been blessed with whatever you have been blessed. And by the way, don't sell yourself short. Everybody has been blessed with something. Right? Everybody. It is upon you to find out what it is that you have been blessed with and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that blessings. And then what did he not know that God had destroyed the arrogant of many generations before and perceived him? People who were greater than he in power and richer than they had amassed. But such as are lost in sin and may not be asked about their sins. Right? So Qarun was destroyed. Trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is it. In Surah Talaq, it's very interesting that Allah put these two ayats in Surah Talaq. There is a message there also, but for some other day. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَالِغُ أَمْرِهِ قَدْ جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدْرًا. And unto everyone who is conscious of Allah, he will find a way out of his unhappiness. Trust Allah, he will find a way. You have risk problems, read this ayat on a regular basis. You have marital problems, read this ayat on a regular basis. Trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will find a help for you. And he provides for him in a matter beyond all expectation. And for everyone who places his trust in Allah, Allah is enough for him. Very Allah attains to his purpose, and indeed everything God has appointed is as a term and a measure. Just for a moment, sit back and reflect back on your life, whether it is 10 years old, 15, 20, 60, 70, 80 years, whatever it might be. And you can see that everywhere you were going to err, Allah brought you back. Allah brought you back constantly. That. But to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means to be aware of him. You must see the invisible hand of Allah with you all the time, right? And if you do that, you will find that your life will become better. Finally, just a reminder, in a way I've shared this with you before, so I won't go into details because I've shared with you in previous years, but to keep this idea of having our spiritual batteries charged right up to Muharram, inshallah, that they don't go down, remember this acronym SIT, S-I-T, Salawat, Istighfar and Tasbih. Salawat, Istighfar and Tasbih, SIT, right? Remember, Salawat, every time, constantly. The beauty of these three things is that you do not need a sitting. You can do this while walking, while you are sitting, while you are sleeping, while you are working, you are driving, you are in the bathroom, you are in the shower, wherever you are. You don't need wudu, although it is good to be in wudu. You don't need a janamaz or a musalla. Just your mind and your lips and an awareness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? Do salawat as many times as possible. It is the sunnah of Allah and His angels. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. It is a way to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a way to thank the Prophet and his family for their guidance. It is a way to make clear to ourselves that our way to gain closeness to Allah is through the wasila of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. Yeah. Whenever the Prophet has said, whenever you may be, invoke blessings on me, for verily your blessing reaches me. The Prophet says, your blessing does reach me. The invocation of blessings upon me will be a light on the Sirat, the bridge on the day of Qiyamah. Verily, the most miserable of people, the most miserly of the people, Bakhil, is one who hears my name mentioned and does not invoke blessings upon me. Salawat ala Muhammadin wa Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. The heaviest thing, the fifth Imam or the sixth Imam says, the heaviest thing to be placed on the scales of the day of judgment is the salawat on Muhammad and his family. That will tip the balance in our favor, inshallah. Right? So, salawat, do as much salawat as you can. Do istighfar, astaghfirullah rabbi wa atubu ilay. Astaghfirullah rabbi wa atubu ilay. What are the advantages of istighfar? Surah Nuh, surah number 71, ayat 10. Ask your sustainer to forgive you your sins, for verily he is oft all forgiving. He will send you abundant rain from the heaven. He will aid you with worldly goods and children, and will make for you gardens, and will make for you upon running waters. So you can see istighfar is only not seeking forgiveness. It is a means of gaining extra blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then finally, the dhikr or the tasbih. Remembering Allah constantly is dhikr. Right? Constantly. You are told, remember Allah. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. One who recalls God in the marketplace with sincerity, in the midst of people's obliviousness and their engagement in its affairs, Allah will write for him 1,000 merits and forgive him on the day of Qiyamah with a forgiveness that has not occurred to any human heart. Right? After Salatul Jummah, what are we told? That when you finish Salatul Jummah, do zikran kathira. Do remember Allah much. Right? And one of the best zikr. So salawat, astaghfirullah rabbi wa atubu ilay. Right? You do the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the best zikr? The recommendation according to Imam Baqir and Imam Ali alayhi salam is that whenever you desire to receive the full measure of God's blessing, anytime you stand up from a gathering or after every namaz, say these last three ayats of Surah Safat. Surah Safat is Surah 37, ayat 180, 181 and 182. This is the surah after Yasin. Surah Yasin is 36, after 36 is 37, Surah Safat, the last three ayats, Subhana Rabbika Rabbil Izzati Amma Yasifun, wa Salamun ala al-Mursaleen, walhamdu lillahi Rabbil Alameen. Glory be to Allah, the Lord of Majesty, far above what they ascribe to Him. Peace be upon the messengers, praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Right? Remember this. If you can't remember the other thing, do salawat as much as possible. Do this, the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do tasbih on istighfar on a constant basis. You and I will stay connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if by chance our batteries slip down, then we will get an opportunity to get back into Muharram inshallah and recharge them again. We are blessed in that way. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to remember all this and to keep on the path and to stay connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I wish you all Eid Mubarak. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all and your families. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all our marhumeen and grant them maghfirah and elevate their status in the akhirah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala محمد وآل محمد